Time having arrived, I call the regularly scheduled meeting of the Brockton City Council to order. Will you all please stand and join me in saluting the flag? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Clerk.
Item number 1, acceptance of the minutes of the September 12, 2022 City Council meeting.
Accepted and placed on file.
We have the reappointment of Kenneth Galligan of Brockton, Mass. To the Zoning Board of Appeals for a 3-year term ending September 2025.
Referred to Finance.
Reappointment of Daniel Campbell, 16 Belcher Ave, Brockton, Mass. As a constable in the city of Brockton for a term of 3 years.
Referred to Finance.
Mr. Chairman.
Councilor Farwell.
I'm sorry, you are moving so expeditiously you got by me. With respect to the reappointment of Chair Galligan to the Zoning Board of Appeals, I would like to move suspension of the rules and act on that this evening. I can't think of anyone who is more qualified or better known in the community, and I think to refer this to Finance just delays the reappointment of someone who has served meritoriously for the city.
Second.
Well said, Councilor. The motion's been properly made and seconded. All in favor? All opposed? Motion passes.
Questions on the reappointment?
Yep. Questions on the reappointment by roll call vote. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Azak?
Yes.
D'Agostino?
Yes.
Farwell?
Yes.
Lally?
Yes.
Mendez?
Yes.
Minicello?
Yes.
Nicastro?
Yes.
Rodriguez?
Yes.
Tavares?
Yes.
Texera?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
11 in the affirmative.
No, he's going to do that.
The
Move
reappointment is
reconsideration and
confirmed.
hope it does not prevail.
Second.
Motion is properly made and seconded for reconsideration. All in favor of reconsideration? All opposed? Reconsideration fails.
And we did item 3. Item 4, petition of Brandon Rogers, DBA B&M One Stop Shop for a secondhand article license located at 181 Clinton Street, Brockton, Mass. In-city clerk's office, December 7th, 2022. All paperwork is on file. Hearing assigned for January 24th, 2022, referred to the Standing Committee on Public Safety. In Public Safety, February 2nd, 2022, postponed until May 4th, 2022. In Public Safety, May 25th, 2022, postponed for 30 days. In Public Safety, June 30th, 2022, that report was unfavorable. In City Council meeting, July 25th, 2022, postponed to the second City Council meeting in September. And it doesn't have to be.
Question comes on granting the second-hand license by hand vote.
Could we take a roll call vote on that matter?
Question comes on granting
I
second-hand.
would like a reverse roll call vote, please.
I'll go first.
Question comes on granting second-hand article license by a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll? Order.
Azak?
We're not doing a reverse roll call?
Not doing a reverse roll call.
Okay. Well, yes.
D'Agostino?
Yes.
Farwell?
Yes.
Lally?
Yes.
Mendez?
Yes.
Minicello?
Yes.
Nicastro?
Yes.
Rodriguez?
Yes.
Tavares?
Yes.
Texera?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
11 in the affirmative.
License is granted.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion for reconsideration.
Second. And hope it doesn't
Motion
prevail.
for reconsideration has been properly made and seconded. All in favor of reconsideration? All opposed? Reconsideration is defeated.
Item number 5.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Maria.
Report of the Finance.
Councilors?
Item number 5, report of the Finance Committee for its meeting of September 7th, 2022.
Accepted and placed on file.
Report of the Finance Committee for its meeting of September 19th, 2022.
Accepted and placed on file.
Communication from the Mayor reappointing Kenneth Galligan of Brockton, Mass. To the Zoning Board of Appeals for a 3-year term ending September 2025.
Accepted and placed on file.
Communication from the Mayor reappointing Daniel Campbell of Brockton, Mass. As a constable in the City of Brockton for a term of 3 years.
Accepted and placed on file.
Communication from the DPW Engineering Superintendent requesting proceedings in the City Council for the layout and acceptance of Newbury Street from Spring Street to Pleasant Street as outlined in the draft council order.
Accepted and placed on file.
Communication from the Director of Veteran Services requesting acceptance and expenditure of a $15 donation from Ms. Janine Christensen to the War Memorial Revolving Fund for the purchase of flowers to fill the planters in front of the building.
Accepted and placed on file.
From the Mayor recommending the same.
Accepted and placed on file.
From the CFO relative to the same.
Accepted and placed on file.
Communication from the Chief of Police requesting authorization to expend grant monies related to the Executive Office of Health and Human Services Fiscal Year 23 Safe and Successful Youth Initiative Grant Award in the amount of $500,000.
Accepted and placed on file.
Communication from the Mayor recommending the same.
Accepted and placed on file.
Communication from the CFO relative to the same.
Accepted and placed on file.
Unfinished business. Appointment of Ruth Moore of Brockton, Mass. to the Women's Commission for a 3-year term ending July 2025. In City Council, July 25th, 2022. Read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
The question is on confirmation by a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Azak.
Yes.
D'Agostino.
Yes.
Farwell.
Yes.
Lally.
Yes.
Mendez.
Yes.
Minicello.
Yes.
Nicastro.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Tavares.
Yes.
Texera.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
11 in the affirmative.
The appointment is confirmed.
Item 17, appointment of Christina Derome of Brockton, Mass. to the License Commission for a 3-year term ending July 2025. In City Council, July 25th, 2022. Read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
Question is on confirmation by a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Azak.
Yes.
D'Agostino.
Yes.
Farwell.
Yes.
Lally.
Yes.
Mendez.
Yes.
Minicello.
Yes.
Nicastro.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Tavares.
Yes.
Texera.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
11 in the affirmative.
The appointment is confirmed.
Appointment of Martha Testa of Brockton, Mass. to the Women's Commission for a 3-year term ending August 2025. In City Council, August 22nd, 2022. Read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
Question comes on confirmation by a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Azak.
Yes.
D'Agostino.
Yes.
Farwell.
Yes.
Lally.
Yes.
Mendez.
Yes.
Minicello.
Yes.
Nicastro.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Tavares.
Yes.
Texera.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
11 in the affirmative.
The appointment is confirmed.
Item 19, reappointment of William Sharnick of Marion, Massachusetts as a constable in the City of Brockton for a term of 3 years. In City Council, September 12th, 2022. Read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
Question is on confirmation by a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Azak.
Yes.
D'Agostino.
Yes.
Farwell.
Yes.
Lally.
Yes.
Mendez.
Yes.
Minicello.
Yes.
Nicastro.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Tavares.
Yes.
Texera.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
11 in the affirmative.
The appointment is confirmed.
The appointment of Police Officer Daniel Leonard of Bridgewater, Mass. as a Special Police Officer. In City Council, September 12th, 2022. Read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
The question is on confirmation by a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Azak.
Yes.
D'Agostino.
Yes.
Farwell.
Yes.
Lally.
Yes.
Mendez.
Yes.
Minicello.
Yes.
Nicastro.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Tavares.
Yes.
Texera.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
11 in the affirmative.
The appointment is confirmed.
The appointment of Devondar Goods of Brockton, Mass. to the Diversity Commission for a 3-year term ending August 2025. In City Council, September 12th, 2022. Read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
The question is on confirmation by a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Azak.
Yes.
D'Agostino.
Yes.
Farwell.
Yes.
Lally.
Yes.
Mendez.
Yes.
Minicello.
Yes.
Nicastro.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Tavares.
Yes.
Texera.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
11 in the affirmative.
The appointment is confirmed.
The appointment of Allian Turner of Brockton, Mass. to the Diversity Commission for a 3-year term ending in September 2025. In City Council, September 12th, 2022. Read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
Question comes on confirmation by a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Azak.
Yes.
D'Agostino.
Yes.
Farwell.
Yes.
Lally.
Yes.
Mendez.
Yes.
Minicello.
Yes.
Nicastro.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Tavares.
Yes.
Texera.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
11 in the affirmative.
The appointment is confirmed.
Item 23, ordinance. An ordinance amending Article 3, Division 2, Section 2-127, Pay Plan. Be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Brockton, Article 3, Section 2-127 is hereby amended as follows. Article 3, Section 2-127 is amended by adding the following category: Information Technology Director. Article 3, Section 2-127 is further amended by striking the wage scale for the position of Data Processing Department Head and replacing it with the following: category IT, position Information Technology Director, minimum salary $137,465, step 2, $141,558, step 3, $145,805, step 4, $150,179. Be it further ordained by the City Council of the City of Brockton that Article 3, Section 2-127A is amended to include the IT category by replacing the first sentence of Section 2-127A, subsection 2, with the following: after completion of 1 year of service at the highest salary step for an F, HR, PL, L13, PW, PK, PR, CC, LB, TC, AM, BH, or IT, the highest salary step for an F, HR, PL, L1 through 3, PW, PK, or IT position, the employee shall receive an increase of up to 5% of the annual salary at the discretion of the mayor and without further approval of the City Council. In City Council, June 27, 2022, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Ordinance. That report was favorable. In City Council, September 12, 2022, passed to a third reading by a hand vote.
The question is on ordination as amended by a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Azak.
Yes.
D'Agostino.
Yes.
Farwell.
Yes.
Lally.
Yes.
Mendez.
Yes.
Minicello.
Yes.
Nicastro.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Tavares.
Yes.
Texera.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
11 in the affirmative.
The ordinance is ordained.
Item number 24, ordinance, be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Brockton as follows: that the City Council adopt the following amendment to the Article 11, Board of Health, Section 11-181, license fees, to include a $25 fee for a one-day food vendor and service permit. In City Council, July 25, 2022, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Ordinance. That report was favorable as amended. In City Council, September 12, 2022, passed to a third reading as amended by a hand vote.
The question is on ordination as amended by a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Azak.
Yes.
D'Agostino.
Yes.
Farwell.
Yes.
Lally.
Yes.
Mendez.
Yes.
Minicello.
Yes.
Nicastro.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Tavares.
Yes.
Texera.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
11 in the affirmative.
The ordinance is ordained.
Item number 25, order that the City Council authorizes the acceptance and expenditure of the total grant funds in the amount of $30,000 from the Massachusetts Department of State Police Fiscal Year 23, Mass State Police Edward J. Burns Justice Assistant Grant Program, to the City of Brockton Police Department Fiscal Year 23, Mass State Police Edward J. Burns Justice Assistant Grant Program Fund. These grant funds will be utilized by the Brockton Police Gang Unit, teaming up with the Massachusetts Gang Unit over the summer, targeting gun crimes and illegal firearms possessions. There is no match requirement. In City Council, August 22, 2022, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
Question is on adoption by a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Azak.
Yes.
D'Agostino.
Yes.
Farwell.
Yes.
Lally.
Yes.
Mendez.
Yes.
Minicello.
Yes.
Nicastro.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Tavares.
Yes.
Texera.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
11 in the affirmative.
The order is adopted.
Mr. Chairman?
Councilor
Mr. President,
Farwell.
pardon me. Mr. President, number 26 is an appropriation for $55,572.82, and it is to fund collective bargaining adjustments for the department heads union. There are 28 different categories, and I would move that we waive the actual reading of each category, include them in the record, and proceed with the gross amount that's being appropriated.
Second.
Motion has been made and properly seconded to waive the reading. All in favor? All
Counselor.
opposition? No opposition. Mr. Clerk.
26, ordered that the following named sum be, and the same hereby appropriated as the same was submitted by the mayor as follows: appropriation of $55,572.82 from Human Resources Employee Benefits Contractual Union Costs to Board of Health, Council on Aging, DPW Administration, DPW Water, DPW Water Enterprise, DPW Overtime, DPW Engineering, Library Department, Parks and Recreation, Police Department, Overtime, Procurement Department, Veteran Services Department, for the purposes of funding the SEIU Local 888 Department Heads Unit Union Contract without detrimental impact on the continuous provision of the existing level of municipal services. This appropriation provides funding for 3 years, July 1st, 2022 through June 30, 2025, of a 3-year contract. Excuse me, in City Council, August 22, 2022. Read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
Questions on adoption by a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, will you please read the roll?
Azak?
As she's done.
Okay. D'Agostino?
Yes.
Farwell?
Yes.
Lally?
Yes.
Mendez?
Yes.
Minicello?
Yes.
Nicastro?
Yes.
Rodriguez?
Yes.
Tavares?
Yes.
Texera?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
10 in the affirmative.
The order is adopted.
Item 27, that the City Council authorizes the acceptance and expenditure of the total grant funds in the amount of $9,016,226.11 from Plymouth County to unappropriated estimated receipts, American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA Fund. In City Council, August 22, 2022, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
Councilor Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, in an administrative effort to clean up this order, I was asked by the auditor to make a motion to strike the language unappropriated estimated receipts from the order.
All right, there's a second?
Second.
Motion has been properly made and seconded. All in favor? All opposed? Motion passes.
Questions on the amendment?
Adoption.
Questions on the amendment first.
Question is on the amendment. By hand vote. All in favor? All opposed? No opposition.
Roll call now, as
As
amended.
amended, yep. Councilors, the question is on adoption.
Mr. President, can I
Counselor
ask an
Azak.
explanation why it's been taken out?
Through me, Councilor Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. President. Through Mr. President to Councilor Azak. Essentially, the title of the order, the unappropriated estimated receipts, is the wrong language to use. That is, it was explained to me as this is not an estimated receipt. This is an exact number figure, and that it should be sent to the ARPA fund directly and not have the wrong financial classification of an unappropriated estimated receipt.
Okay, through you, Mr. Chairman, to Counselor Thompson, and who did that come from?
That came from our city auditor.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, councilors, the question is on adoption of the order as amended by a roll call vote. Madam Clerk?
Azak?
Yes.
D'Agostino?
Yes.
Farwell?
Yes.
Lally?
Yes.
Mendez?
Yes.
Minicello?
Yes.
Nicastro?
Yes.
Rodriguez?
Yes.
Tavares?
Yes.
Texera?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
11 in the affirmative.
The order is adopted.
Item 28, ordered that the City Council authorizes the acceptance and expenditure of the total grant funds in the amount of $740,000 from Commonwealth of Massachusetts Executive Office for Administration and Finance, Mask Program Grant, to Board of Health Mask Program Grant Fund. These grant funds will be used to purchase and distribute face masks. In City Council, August 22, 2022, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
Questions on adoption by a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, will you please read the roll?
Azak?
Yes.
D'Agostino?
Yes.
Farwell?
Yes.
Lally?
Yes.
Mendez?
Yes.
Minicello?
Yes.
Nicastro?
Yes.
Rodriguez? Tavares?
Yes.
Texera?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
11 in the affirmative.
The order is adopted.
Item 29, ordered in accordance with the general laws of Massachusetts, Chapter 44, recommending that the City Council authorize the acceptance of a donation of 468 cases of water bottles from C Carney Environmental to the City of Brockton Fire Department. In City Council, September 12, 2022, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
Question is on adoption by a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Azak?
Yes.
D'Agostino?
Yes.
Farwell,
Yes.
Lally,
Yes.
Mendez.
Yes.
Minicello,
Yes.
Nacastro.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Tavares.
Yes.
Texera.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
11 in the affirmative.
The order is adopted.
Item 30, ordered that the City Council hereby rescind the amendment to the order declaring the city-owned parcel at West Elm Street, Brockton, Mass., known as Keith Field, Assessor Map 58, Route 71-1, Plot 56, being the same premises shown on Plan of Land in Brockton, June 12, 1920, Hayward and Hayward Surveyors, 28 Main Street, Brockton, filed with Plymouth County Land Court records as surplus and available for disposition. The amendment reads as follows: to include in the order that the transfer of land shall be subject to a deed restriction, which provides that the City Council shall have the right of first refusal, which shall be subject to City Council approval, to execute an option to purchase the land at the purchase price provided for in the transfer made pursuant to the order. Said option shall be executed upon the expiration of 120 days upon receipt of notice for the city for the option to purchase back the transferred land in the event the purchaser elects to sell the land transferred in this order. This order shall only rescind the language of the amendment so that the land remains declared as surplus without the restriction contained in the amendment. There was an amendment to the Keithfield order. Now the order reads that the city shall have the right to enter upon the property and revest title back to it upon the occurrence of any of the following events. Number one, the grantee ceases to exist or function for the purposes of providing educational and recreational services to persons under the age of 18. Two, the property is conveyed or transferred without the written consent of the council. Notwithstanding the foregoing or any general or special laws to the contrary, the City of Brockton, acting by and through its mayor, is hereby authorized to subordinate the city's reversionary right as related to the surplus declaration and restrictions related thereto to a conventional lender to fund the development of a youth services facility in an amount not to exceed $5 million. This action shall take the form of a subordination authorization agreement. The form and content of any documents shall be acceptable to the mayor, excepting that any subordination agreement executed by the mayor shall contain a provision that any surplus funds, after payment of principal, interest, and expenses resulting from any foreclosure sale, be paid to the City of Brockton. The authorization to subordinate the city's reversionary right shall be limited to one subordination, and any further subordination shall be subject to approval by the City Council. In City Council, August 22, 2022, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable as amended.
Councilor Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, it is my sincere belief that the $5 million cap on this surplus orders subordination clause is not sufficient to get this worthy project completed. Due to the importance of this matter to my constituents in Ward 5 and Brockton at large, I make a motion to amend the order, striking the subordination clause cap of $5 million and replacing it with $10 million. I believe this increased cap will allow this project to move forward.
Second.
Thank you, Councilor. On the motion, Councilor Farwell.
I'm not quite sure where to begin. I do understand and I respect my colleague from Ward 5 for making a motion that he thinks is necessary. But we were here until 11:40 the other night on this issue. We have spent more time on this issue than we have on portions of the budget for the City of Brockton. We came to an agreement, and as a matter of fact, I voted no, not to recommend it favorably. I'm prepared tonight, because politics is the art of compromise, to go forward with the $5 million. But I think this is crazy to go back and forth on this issue. An RFP was published. Responsible adults filed a response to that RFP. It was awarded to them this past January. And then some 8 months later, oh, time out, it's not acceptable to us. Enough is enough. If the $5 million isn't sufficient, that's not my problem, and it shouldn't be the problem of the taxpayers in the City of Brockton. So I hope this amendment is not adopted. I am prepared to vote for the $5 million, as we agreed to the other evening, and I think we need to move this forward. We are paralyzed over this one issue, and it's just nonsense to me. Thank you, Mr. President.
On the motion, Councilor D'Agostino.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm going to vote against the amendment, and the reason I supported it at the $5 million cap, The way I see this is it's how much risk do we potentially want to put the taxpayers of this city on? So if we go to 10 million and this doesn't work out financially for this bidder and the city has to step in, the taxpayers could end up footing a bill for $10 million to keep this get this property back. I won't put the taxpayers on that kind of money unnecessarily, and I think it's unnecessary. I'm confident that they will find a way. If this bidder wants to move this project forward, they will find a way to make that happen with this cap. And I think that we have to limit the exposure that we're creating for the taxpayer. And so for that reason, that is why I supported the $5 million cap a week ago, as my colleague said when we were here till 11:40 at night trying to figure out and get to a compromise and a happy medium on this. So again, hopefully, I'm sure they will be able to move forward with this cap, and it also protects the taxpayer, and that's our job. We have to protect the taxpayer. I just don't think it makes sense to put the taxpayer behind a $10 million mortgage. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. If there's no other counselors, the question will come on the amendment.
Roll call vote, please.
The amendment of the amendment. Call vote, Madam Clerk,
On the amendment.
on the amendment of the amendment.
Azak.
Just for clarification, this is the amendment that Counselor
This is
Thompson.
Counselor Thompson's proposed amendment to raise it
No.
from 5 million to 10.
D'Agostino.
No.
Farwell.
No.
Lally.
Yes.
Mendez.
Yes.
Minicello.
Yes.
Nicastro.
No.
Rodriguez.
No.
Tavares.
Yes.
Texera.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
So that's 6 in the affirmative, 5 in opposition.
The amendment is adopted. Counselors,
Question is on adoption as amended.
question is on adoption as amended. On the, well, there's no motion on the floor yet, counselors. This
I just had a point of information before we go forward.
a point of information.
We're taking 2 actions tonight, okay, as we go forward. Oops, sorry. We're rescinding the amendment that came in front of us in the original order, and we're also amending the original order as further amended just now.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Counselors, the question is on adoption as amended by a roll call vote.
Mr. President, I would like a reverse roll call vote.
A reverse roll call vote. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Azak. Thompson.
Yes.
Texera.
Yes.
Tavares.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Nicastro.
Yes.
Minicello.
Yes.
Mendez.
Yes.
Lally.
Yes.
Farwell.
Yes.
D'Agostino.
Yes.
Azak.
Absolutely yes.
That is 11 in the affirmative.
The order is adopted. Counselor Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I make a motion to reconsider in the hopes that it does not prevail.
Second.
Motion has been properly made and seconded for reconsideration in the hopes it does not prevail. All in favor of reconsideration? All opposed? Reconsideration fails.
Item number 31, be it resolved that members of the Brockton School Committee, Superintendent of Schools Michael Thomas, Mayor of Brockton Robert Sullivan, Chief Financial Officer Troy Clarkson, Chief Financial Officer for the School Department Aldo Petronio, or their designees be invited to come before the Finance Committee to discuss athletic facilities in the community, funding, and the need for development of fields and upgrades for recreational uses in the city. In City Council, June 27, 2022, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
Questions on adoption by a hand vote. All in favor? All opposed? The order is adopted.
Item 32, resolved, be it resolved to have Superintendent Michael Thomas appear before a Finance Committee of the Brockton City Council to give an update on the new Brockton Public School 5-year strategic plan and the Superintendent's Proficiency Commitment. In City Council, September 12, 2022, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
Adoption is, questions on adoption by a hand vote. All in favor? All opposed? The order is adopted.
Item 33, ordinances. Ordinance, an ordinance amending Article 2, Section 28, compensation. Be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Brockton, Article 2, Section 28 is hereby amended by striking the provision in its entirety and inserting the following language. The City Council shall receive in full for all services rendered compensation at the rate of $30,000 per annum commencing January 1st, 2023.
As referred to ordinance.
Item number 34, order that the common necessity and convenience of the inhabitants of the City of Brockton require the laying out of Newbury Street, extending from Spring Street northerly to Pleasant Street, a distance of 258 feet more or less, and for that purpose it is necessary to take an easement for highway purposes and lay out as a public street or way of said City of Brockton, said easement passing by or over lands of those persons known on Exhibit A, attached hereto and parties unknown. Said layout of said street being variable in width is shown more particularly on a plan entitled City of Brockton Layout and Acceptance Plan of Newbury Street. Said plan, drawn by J.K. Holmgren Engineering, Inc., at a scale of 1 inch to 20 feet and dated August 19, 2022, is to be recorded herewith and made a part of this taking. Said layout of said street is bounded and described as following. Beginning at a point in the northerly line of Spring Street at its intersection with the westerly line of Newbury Street, then north 9 minutes and 42 seconds, 7 degrees west, in said westerly line of Newbury Street, a distance of 264.19 feet, to a point in the southerly line of Pleasant Street, then southerly 74.3500 east, in the southerly line of Pleasant Street, a distance of 23.83 feet, to a point at the intersection of said southerly line of Pleasant Street with the easterly line of Newbury Street. That's south 9.46, 48 east, in the easterly line of Newbury Street, a distance of 251.87 feet, to a point at the intersection of said easterly line of Newbury Street with the northerly line of Spring Street, and then south 74.33-53 west in said northerly line of Spring Street at a distance of 22.03 feet to the point of beginning. The land taken is more fully described as follows. All the land within the limits of a private way known as Newbury Street, supposed to belong to parties unknown, being a strip of land variable in width extending from Spring Street northerly, a distance of 258 feet, more or less, as shown on a plan entitled City of Brockton Layout and Acceptance Plan of Newbury Street. Said plan, drawn by J.K. Holmgren Engineering, Inc., at a scale of 1 inch to 20 feet, and dated August 19, 2022, is to be recorded herewith and made a part of this taking. And we have considered and estimated the damages sustained by all persons who have not waived damages in their several estates as followed. No awards.
Very complete. Councilors, this is being referred to Finance and to the Planning Board. Councilor Farwell.
Mr. President, on item number 35, after reading by the clerk, I would move suspension of the rules and act on it this evening.
Second.
Councilors, will have the clerk read it, and then we'll take the vote.
Item 35, order that the City Council authorizes the acceptance and expenditure of a donation in the amount of $15 from Ms. Janine Christensen to War Memorial Revolving Fund. The donation will be used for the purchase of flowers to fill the planters in front of the War Memorial Building.
Councilors, this is a motion properly made and seconded to take this under suspension of the rules and act on it this evening. All in favor? All opposed? The motion is passed. We have in the chamber with us the Director of Veteran Services, Director Young, if you'd like to provide a backstory on it all, or we can just vote.
Thank you, City Council President and City Council members. I received a letter in the mail from Ms. Christensen with a $15 check, and I'd say by the handwriting and the story that she's a little older. She's moved to Taunton, and her friend Bob Wessa, who lived on the west side, used to plant flowers every year, and he's since passed. And she didn't specifically ask me to do it, but I'm going to, and the planters are there, and I'm planning on mums because I hope they'll make it to the frost.
Thank you, Madam Director. Councilors, question comes, unless there's any questions, the question comes on adoption. Question comes on adoption by a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Azak.
Yes.
Giagostino.
Yes.
Farwell.
Yes.
Lally.
Yes.
Mendez. Minicello.
Yes.
Nicastro.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Tavares.
Yes.
Texera.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
11 in the affirmative.
The order is adopted.
Reconsideration.
Motion for reconsideration, Counselor?
Yes, in the hope it does not prevail.
Second.
Motion has been properly made and seconded for reconsideration in the hopes it does not prevail. All in favor of reconsideration? All opposed? Reconsideration fails. Thank you, Madam Director.
Item 36, ordered that the City Council authorizes the acceptance and expenditure of the total grant funds in the amount of $500,000 from the Executive Office of Health and Human Services Fiscal Year 23 Safe and Successful Youth Initiative Grant to the Brockton Police Department Fiscal Year 23 Safe and Successful Youth Initiative Grant Fund. These grant funds will be used for street outreach, case management, behavioral health, and tiered employment services for a targeted group of individuals aged 17 to 24 between July 1st, 2022 and June 30th, 2023. There is no match required for this grant.
That is referred to Finance.
Resolved, whereas the Massachusetts Legislature enacted Chapter 59, Section 5, subsection C, allowing for residential property tax exemptions and for certain properties, and whereas the Department of Revenue published information about this exemption and the types of communities which adopt the exemption, noting large cities or towns with many non-owner occupied properties like apartment buildings adopt this program, and whereas the City of Brockton does not currently offer this exemption, and whereas it is appropriate to discuss and evaluate whether this annual exemption would be of benefit to owner-occupied residential property in the city. Now therefore be it resolved by the chair of the Board of Assessors appear before a committee of the Brockton City Council to discuss the residential tax exemption program, how it would affect the amounts collected from owner-occupied properties, and to prepare a written summary of how the city could implement Mass General Laws, Chapter 59, Section 5-C, with various exemption amounts which could be included in any such program.
That is referred to Finance.
Resolved, whereas the City of Brockton has formally adopted a Poet Laureate and a Youth Poet Laureate honorary positions. Now therefore be it resolved that Poet Laureate Philip Hazaris and Youth Poet Laureate Hannah Baptiste be invited to address the Finance Committee of the City Council with a selection of poetry and to outline future events for the Poet Laureate and Youth Poet Laureate.
Referred to Finance. Councilors, we've reached the end of our agenda.
Mr. President,
Are there
I
any
have
late
a-
files?
Make a motion for a late file.
Councilor Azak. Motion has been properly made and seconded to accept the late file. All in favor? All opposed? The motion passes.
Resolved to have Cynthia Pendergast of NeighborWorks Housing Solutions or her designee appear before the Standing Committee on Finance of the Brockton City Council. Ms. Pendergast will give a brief overview of the services currently offered to the residents of Brockton by NeighborWorks Housing Solutions and introduce a new down payment assistance opportunity specifically for first-time homebuyers who are residents of Brockton.
Referred to Finance. Are there any more late files, councilors? Seeing none, we'll go to moments of personal privilege. Councilor Azak.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to remind everybody at home that this coming weekend, Friday, September 30th, Saturday, October 1st, and Sunday, October 2nd, is the Lebanese Festival here in the city of Brockton at St. Teresa's Church at 343 North Main Street. Everyone's welcome. It's always a great event. Everybody can enjoy great Lebanese food and music and culture. So hope to see everybody there this coming weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Nicastro.
Thank you. Yesterday, I attended a celebration at the First Evangelical Lutheran Church, which is in Ward 4 on Main Street. They were celebrating their church building is 100 years old. They were also celebrating the merger of their congregation with that of Prince of Peace Lutheran Church, which was formerly located on North Montello Street and closed within the last few months. I want to publicly congratulate First Evangelical Lutheran Church. This congregation is more than 100 years old. They are the little engine that could. We're very proud to have them in Ward 4. Their building is beautiful and well kept, and I wish them another 100 years. And I'm sure all of you do too. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Mr. Clerk.
I just wanted to take a minute to thank Mike Simmons from BCA. He spent several hours with me last Tuesday morning and afternoon, working on the sound levels that were so atrocious last week. I believe it sounds like we've got them fixed, and I wanted to thank him and BCA for the efforts last week. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Councilors, I've got nothing else. So, Seeing nothing, we're adjourned.